Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So we have got a very exciting day ahead of us. I say we because I'm with the one and only Pops.
Good morning everyone, hope you're all well.
And today we've got a day booked with Neil McIntyre. Now Neil McIntyre is a professional photographer based in the Aviemore area. He's a published photographer, so he's got a book which I think is Chasing Deer. I think that's what it's called. It's all about red deer, and he's just been recently on the red deer rut, guiding tours out there. So if that's something that floats your boat, if that's something you're interested in, I know it's certainly something that I would like to do in the future, then I would definitely check out Neil McIntyre's website. So he does tours, but in addition to tours, he's also got a couple of photo sessions they're advertised as. So this one that we're going to do in the morning is for red squirrels. This is a hide-based photo session. And then this afternoon, as the gunshots rain around the valley. Then this afternoon we're on the crested tits, and that one's not a hide. It's a little bit different, but I'm going to share that one with you later on. I've done that one before. It's an absolutely magical experience. Pops has not done it before. I don't think you've seen a crested tit before, have you?
No, I haven't. Only your pictures.
Yeah, so that'll be a first for Pops. So we've got that this afternoon, but this morning we've got the red squirrels and the colours. If I just turn this camera around, the colours at the moment, I know it's a little bit misty and a little bit foggy. But the colours are absolutely spectacular. We're late October now, and we've got beautiful reds and, oh God, there's another gunshot. These spectacular reds and oranges. So I'm hoping that gives us a little bit of a backdrop for the red squirrels. So come along for the journey and see what we see. How excited are you, Pops?
I'm trembling.
So the bit that Pops isn't telling you is the minute we pop the viewing ports up on the hide, there was a crested tit on the feeder in front of him, and Pops has never seen one before, so he's in awe, absolute awe. So Neil's just shown us around all the different perches. He's shown us where to put the hazelnuts. Obviously a massive favourite. A massive favourite for red squirrels are hazelnuts. And what Neil's just been explaining to us is that at the moment they're kind of in caching mode, so they're going to get the hazelnuts and then take them away and cache them for obviously leaner times in the winter. So it's a case of constantly coming out little and often and topping up the feeders, putting out the hazelnuts and ensuring that food is in plentiful supply. One of the things that I would say straight away is the variety. Now, we've been to red squirrel hides before. We went to a red squirrel hide, Paul Fowley's in Yorkshire, and it was quite singular in its approach. So you had one area to photograph in front of you, which was great, but what we've got here is absolute variety. There is jumping posts, there is natural stumps. Neil's positioned some of the stumps so that you've got some of the autumnal colours behind it. We've got beautiful heather, and there's still a little bit of colour in the heather, which will look absolutely exquisite and really kind of set off the colours within the red squirrel. We've got posts that are leading line to the hide, and the idea would be to get them as they're running down the post towards you. So there's just an absolute plethora of options here, and that really is, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. Neil's also said that they're not shy, so you don't have to be worried about talking quietly, which obviously lends itself to making videos immensely, because there's nothing worse than whispering, as we have had done in hides in the past. So we can talk normally, we can move about in the hide, and the red squirrels are quite used to that. This is just already the little birds coming in and the cresties coming in is just unbelievable.
Was it Snow White that sang and all the birds came round? If only you could sing like Snow White.
Yeah, please don't
Have all
start
the
singing,
birds on your
Pops.
shoulders
You
and
start
behind
singing and it's going to start raining. So he's got tea and coffee. There are plates there that you can use, and in this cupboard here he's got bean bags for you to use. So you can see bean bags there for you to use if you want to use bean bags. He's literally thought of everything. Yeah, did you? He's thought of everything through. Lots of opportunity. So there's not huge quantities of light today. It's a really quite diffused light. It's very foggy. So for that shot there that I was shooting at, I was shooting in 400mm, so I'd not engaged my teleconverter. I wanted some space around the squirrel. I wanted to show off that environment, particularly that foreground of the heather. I wanted that to be completely diffused. And then there is, just moving, so just a position, I'm just going to shift it just ever so slightly. We've still got some of the autumnal colours behind it. So I'm trying to frame my shot thinking about the background, the foreground, and the frame itself. So I'm positioning the squirrel. He's got his back to us at the moment, but I'm positioning the squirrel on the left third, and he's looking towards the centre of the frame. And then I'm using the foreground and the background to just create that sense of environment for the red squirrel. And so I'm shooting at 500th of a second. No need to be any faster than that, because we're not looking for action shots here. He's sat and he's eating a nut, so 500th of a second is absolutely fine. And I'm shooting wide open at f2.8, because he's quite far off. That is a perfect depth of field. If he was closer and we were photographing him perhaps on this close log, I might have to narrow down my aperture to give me that depth of field. But when he's far away, as he is there, I've no need to increase the depth of field at all. And then interestingly, I'm shooting in spot weighted metering. So I talk about metering modes all the time, and I know it is something that people either enjoy experimenting with or not interested in the slightest, and that's completely fine. But I find that by using, he's just popped up on this log in front of us, by using the different metering modes.
Which one?
Is it just this one here in front, Pops? By using the different metering modes, I'm able to create some in-camera effects that I would be able to achieve in post-processing, but I quite like to achieve them in the camera. So that took 5 minutes. 5 minutes for the first red squirrel to arrive. I was just filming the contents of this hide, and an amazing hide that it is, when the red squirrel popped up. And Pop was like, "There's a red squirrel here, there's a red squirrel here." So one of the things I would say about this hide is it's such a relaxed way of doing photography, isn't it? You know, usually you're in a hide, there's scrim netting down, you're peeking through the scrim netting, or in the case of Dezones, you've got that one-way glass, but again, you had to be so quiet, didn't you?
Yep. And don't move around.
Exactly, whereas this is, I don't know, there's something very mindful about an experience like this, where you're sat in the woods, you've got the beautiful sounds of the woods all around you, you've got the small woodland birds coming in constantly, we've got huge numbers of coltits coming in, chaffinches, every now and again we're blessed with a little cresty drops in, and the whole time we're just waiting for the red squirrels, which are an iconic British wildlife species, sadly on the decline. But there are strongholds in Scotland like this that I hope will be here for my grandchildren to be able to experience. Because I don't expect there to be that in England. I suspect that the small pockets that we've got in England of red squirrel will sadly be gone.
Yeah.
They're already have lost some of the sites in the Penrith red squirrel group. There are some of the sites that have had the squirrel pox passed on by the grey squirrels, and it's just decimated the red squirrels.
Well, there used to be plenty of them around the Wirral area.
That's right, Formby Sands.
Formby Sands. I remember going there when you were a little baby.
Yeah.
And there was red squirrels all around. But there's nothing there now.
No, I've been a few times to try and make videos at Formby and not seen any at all.
Yeah. There's one or two pockets in Cumbria.
Yeah.
Which we know about. Up here there's certainly stronghold, certainly plenty of them around. And long may it last.
Absolutely. Because this is just marvellous. So we've had a second visit from red squirrel. Came in on that back perch again and did exactly what Neil said it would do, and that is just a smash and grab. It literally run up the post, grabbed the hazelnut and then left. And he said that they would do that because at the moment they're more about caching than they are about feeding. He has got a strategy for us if that's the case, and they continue to do that, and that is to pop out a broken shelled hazelnut that's not suitable for them to cache, but they'll then open it and eat it on the post. So he really has thought about all the kind of the minutiae of the experience, whether it be from the posts and the variety of the posts that's out there, down to the behaviour of the red squirrel when they're when they're feeding and when they're caching and ways around that. He was explaining to us that he's been doing this for over 20 years. He's had this hide, I think, did he say he'd had this hide for about...
Was it 7 years?
Yeah, I thought he said 7 years. Yeah. And then the hide before that he'd had for even longer. He'd had that for about 20 years.
20 years.
He's been doing this a long time, and he clearly knows his animals. He knows the way that they behave. He knows that the different behaviour traits that they do at different times of the year. And it's that what you're paying for. That's what you're exploiting when you go to these paid hides. You're exploiting somebody else's experience and somebody else's knowledge to give you the best opportunities of a photograph. Now, you could go into the woods, as we've done in the past at our location in the Lake District, and you can get photographs of red squirrels. And I've shown that you're capable of doing that, and creating your own little examples of this. But what's been really meticulously thought out here is the posts, the backgrounds, the foregrounds, the variety, and that's what gives you those opportunities for some absolutely exquisite shots. And well worth your money, definitely well worth your money. We've had a couple of visits now of a greater spotted woodpecker. and he's nicking the hazelnuts that are out for the red squirrels. And then obviously he's taking them up into the trees, and then you can hear the tap, tap, tapping as he's trying to open the shell to get the nut from the inside. It's lovely to see great spotted woodpecker. And you know, I was reminded this week just how fortunate we are and how we take things for granted, because I was speaking to a mate of mine, Mike, and he sponsored the last video that we did. His company sponsored the last video that we did, and he asked if there was ever an opportunity for me and Pops to take him to see a great spotted woodpecker, because he's never seen one in his life. And I think sometimes like that, you know, as a wildlife photographer, we take for granted the opportunities and the things that we see, because we see animals so frequently. And yeah, there are opportunities to see the rarities like the pine marten that we saw last night, badger that, you know, most people only see badgers dead at the side of the road. But there are also species that we see and take for granted, like the great spotted woodpecker. And, you know, I've had some fantastic close encounters with great spotted woodpecker. And there are a lot of people out there that have never seen them, and we do take that for granted, don't we?
We certainly do. I mean, how many times when we were photographing kingfishers at Daisy Nook on Crime Lake, and people walking past and saying, "What are you photographing?" And we said, "Kingfisher. I've lived round here for years, I've never seen one."
Yeah. And that's one of the things that it's one of the most magical parts of wildlife photography. It's like having your eyes opened. And I went for a walk with a very dear friend of mine who's sadly passed away now, Steve Carter. And we went out for a walk together, and he said, "God, it's like going out for a walk with David Attenborough," because I was pointing out all these different birds that we were seeing. And when you do wildlife photography, you walk with your eyes open. You're constantly looking, and therefore,
and your ears.
Yeah, and using your ears. And as a result of that, you see things that a lot of people don't see. And we do take it for granted, and we shouldn't. Well, they're coming in thick and fast now. This one at the end here, just run down the post towards us. I hit the buffer, I took that many shots. I didn't hit the buffer when I was photographing the white-tailed eagle as that was coming in, to give you an idea. Oh, it's beautiful. Now you'll have seen then what I tend to do when I'm photographing is I have it in the highest burst setting that it'll do, which is 20 frames a second. But I tend to do little bursts, unless you get something that's real action, and then I'll hold the shutter down, which is what I did as it was running towards us. Now, as it was running towards us, I was about 640th of a second, which is probably a little bit on the slow side, although he wasn't flat out running at us, he was kind of just pounding along. So I think I'll have definitely got a couple of shots where he was in the air as he's moving down this log towards us. Now, the pot of hazelnuts is at this end, and he's taken a hazelnut and he's sat now on the log at the end, eating it. So I've got no doubt that in a minute he's going to have to come back down this post again, and I'm going to try and get some photo. Whoa, that bird nearly came in the hide. I'm going to get some photographs of him coming down this post any minute now. So that red squirrel did just as I thought he was going to do. He ate these hazelnut on the end of that post. Got some photographs and some video of that. But I knew that his next venture was to come down this log towards us. So I increased my shutter speed to above 1,000th of a second, but I was still shooting at f2.8 to ensure that I was keeping them ISO figures down as low as I possibly could. And then I just waited until he run down, and I pre-positioned my focusing on that log, and then I could track him as he was running towards me.
What I find absolutely awesome about this place is the backgrounds. The bokeh behind, the colours. There's purples and greens and yellows, gold. All pastel shades.
Yeah.
It's the best I've ever seen in a hide. Absolutely stunning.
And I think what's incredible about that is that those pastel coloured backgrounds really contrast with the vibrancy of the red squirrel, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
They really complement it and give a really nice separation so that the red squirrel pops off the background.
With that, yeah, absolutely awesome. As I keep saying, I've never seen anything like it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So one of the things that I've done now is I've I was originally shooting with my video head on a plate, and he's got plates here that you can attach your own gimbal head or video head or ball head, whatever it is that you're used to using, to the plate. But I've actually been and got some of his bean bags, and there's a red squirrel coming across now, Dad's that far one. And the reason I've got the bean bags is because I can get lower, and the lower I can get, the more of the heather in the foreground I'm able to show. And in some ways it's masking parts of the post ever so slightly, that just makes it, I think, to my eye and my taste, look that little bit more natural. So, oh, he's there, he's on that post there, Dad. He's off up the tree. And I think what's really nice, because of the panoramic views that you get, oh, he's coming back down, is he? No. Because of the panoramic views that you're getting around the hide, you can see the red squirrel coming in from quite a distance, which gives you time to be able to set up for your shot. You can anticipate which perch they're going to go to from the direction that they're travelling in, and it means that you're going to nail the shot, aren't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. It is a truly wonderful setup, and it's nature at its best.
Yeah, definitely so. And while I've been out topping up all the feeders and putting out hazelnuts, Pops has even poured me a brew.
Yep. Aren't they good to you?
He certainly is. He's got his uses. It's not just comedy. Pops and I are fed and watered now. We've had our little lunch, courtesy of my wonderful wife. Pops even managed to get half of it down his trousers.
Nothing unusual there.
And that's one of the things that you kind of do when you hide for doing hide photography, is it's always fits and bursts, isn't it? You get moments where the action's frantic and you kind of one squirrel after another, and then you get periods where it's quiet, and it's choosing those moments to refresh and just take stock, have a sandwich, cup of coffee, and just enjoy the experience. Pops in for talking on this video. I don't know if you've noticed.
Well, you say it all.
He's all of a sudden become camera shy.
Yeah. You say it all when you say nothing at all.
Oh God, he's singing. I knew you'd find that one. So this is just exquisite. Now we've got Squirrels all around us, in front of us, at the side of us, eating in various different positions and just giving us some absolutely beautiful opportunities for photographs. This one's perched right in front of us now. And he's just eating on the log that's coming towards us. His tail is perfectly curled up round his back and onto his head. Just that classic position that you want to see red squirrels in. This has absolutely exceeded expectations. It's been marvellous, hasn't it, Pops?
Oh, without a doubt. I think I've died and gone to heaven.
I don't know if the microphone's picking that up. Oh, he just got in it.
Oh, he just crunched it.
When they get those hazelnuts and they want in them, they absolutely gnaw at them. Using those big incisors on the front to break the shell open and get to the nut inside. And the whole time we're having to keep an eye over our left hand shoulder because they're coming in at the side of us here on the log. Oh, we've got another one coming in. So I'm going to draw the video to a close there. We've had an incredible morning, an absolutely incredible morning. What are your thoughts on it, Pops?
Oh, it's just been awesome. Stunning animals, stunning place, beautiful. Nature at its best. Love it.
Yeah, it's been a really kind of mindful experience as well. You know, you're in, as Pop said, in absolutely beautiful surroundings, a fantastic setting, and then you've got these wonderful creatures coming in and out, visiting you as and when they see it necessary to do so. You know, there's nothing forced about it. There's hazelnuts out there to draw them in, but if they don't want them, they don't have to come. And you just get these phenomenal opportunities for photographs. Some really nice perch shots, some really nice opportunities for photographs of the animal in its environment, so you can create plenty of space around it and showcase some of the beautiful heather and the autumnal colours in the background, which has been really nice. And then to change that up and look for shots that are more action shots, particularly as they're running down this pulse that we've mentioned a few times, has been fantastic. There is the opportunity, if you want it, for to capture the red squirrels as they're leaping from one perch to another. There is a jumping post to the side. We've done that before, and we've got photographs of that before, so it's not something that we've wanted to spend any time doing this morning, but it's there. It's an opportunity for you to use it if you want to do so. The hide itself is absolutely first class. You know, it's big and spacious for a starting point, much bigger than many of the hides I've been in before. And as we've mentioned, this beautiful kind of panoramic view across the woodland is fantastic. There's a whole manner of brew tackle on offer. You can make yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a cup of hot chocolate. All that is on offer behind. Neil provides plates for you to put your own gimbal heads on. I think that he's got a gimbal that he can loan you if you haven't got a gimbal. Pops and I have gone for a very different approach. He's been using his gimbal head on one of the plates. I've been using bean bags. And I think, you know, whatever suits you, there's enough space in this hide. If you wanted to pull the bench back a little bit and put your camera on the tripod in front of you, you could do it in that way if you wanted to. It really is flexible in its approach. And it has been, as Pops has said,
Sublime.
absolutely first class.
Yeah.
If you're interested in booking this hide, it is available to be booked through Neil McIntyre's website. I'll put a link to the website at the bottom now. There'll also be a link in the description to the video. Neil runs a whole plethora of different photographic sessions and photographic tours, and so have a look at what is on offer there. Obviously, we're going on to do the crested tits this afternoon. We've done a morning with the red squirrels, and I don't want this morning to end. It has been absolutely first class. So if you've enjoyed it, give us a like. If you've not yet subscribed, and about 45% of the people that view the videos are not subscribed to the channel, it costs nothing. It's a click of a button. That word subscription always puts people off because it usually means that it costs you. It doesn't. It's completely free. But it really does support the channel. It supports the channel in ensuring that the channel is shared out to other people, other viewers on YouTube. On the sharing front, if you want to share this video on your social media platforms, please do so. That in itself supports the channel by increasing that exposure and getting us out there to as many people as possible. If you want to show that little bit of extra support, we've got a Buy Me a Coffee webpage. Link will be at the bottom. There'll also be a link within the description. A massive thank you to all those people who purchase us a coffee. It really is appreciated. And from the wonderful Aviemore, from the beautiful, beautiful woodland and the stunning red squirrels, and until next time, well, we'll be photographing the cresties. Ta-ra!